What if the Urban Decay Naked Palette launched in 2025? I created a custom palette with my single eyeshadows from Viseart and Clionadh to bring you the 2025 version. Now, they did actually re-release that palette last year. It was pretty much more or less the same thing as previously, and it actually sold out. I think I don't have that palette to use as a starting off point, but I did look at some swatches to help me curate this one. And of course, I added a bunch of special shimmery, dimensional, spicy neutral shadows in here, and I really wanted a nice balance of the matte. So the way I built this is you can kind of use this section and then of course kind of mix in between, but I really wanted something that would be great for every day. You would have some depth, you would have some midtones, you would have some one and done shadows, or throw a matte in the crease and a shimmer all over the lid. So I will list all the Clionadh shadows I used in here in the description box. The Naked palette definitely does sway a little bit cooler, which is where I'm kind of really playing off of that with specifically these two shades and then maybe some of the shimmer shadows as well. But I wanted to add a little bit more variety of tones in there. There's definitely some warmer tone shadows like the shade in the original palette, and they do have some, I believe there's a bunch of satins in there, not necessarily some super metallic shimmer shadows. And also for the shimmers, something I considered was I wanted some that were more topper-like and some that are more opaque. So these two shades are definitely more opaque, and then the rest of them are kind of like a varying level of opacity. Some of them you can build up a little bit more, and some of them are a little bit more transformative, specifically the shade right here, which is an iridescent multi-chrome. So I'm also going to show you the face products I decided to pair with this look inspired by the palette. I wanted this whole look to just feel very harmonious. I've done videos like this previously, however, they were only top down and I didn't do an eye look, but I really got a little bit more into detail, into the nitty-gritty. But I did have those palettes for reference in hand to kind of see which tones I wanted to pull from my collection. But for this video, I wanted to switch it up and do a little bit more of a almost full face minus the foundation application. So let's get right into it. So I think the shades I'm going to use is this one right here, this cooler tone, really dark brown, and this shade, and probably maybe a little bit of this shade just on the edges. As for the shimmers, I want to use Iron Gate and Exothermic. So I'm going to start off with the more mid-tone shade, and I'm just going to work that on the outer corner up into my crease. I did prime with the Ulta Beauty eyeshadow primer. I am really liking it, however, I do find that it does not have the same longevity for me as a Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer, but it is definitely easier to get out. I actually had to remove the stopper from the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer because I just wasn't picking up any product. And when I removed the stopper, I saw just how much product was left. So if you have the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer and you feel like you're almost finished with it, because it is pretty expensive, I think it's like $20 something. And then taking the darker brown shade on the outer corner here, that picked up super heavy on the brush, and I'm just gonna keep it to this outer corner, and then I'm gonna try to kind of smoke it up this way. And then I'm gonna go back in with this brush and just kind of go over the edge here. And I'm not bringing it underneath my lower lash line yet, since I have to put down since I have to do my concealer still. Next, I'm going to pick up this light cream shade, and I'm going to use that kind of on the edges of the whole look, just to kind of blend everything further out. And I'm going to pick up the mid-tone original first brown shade I used in the crease and just pop that back in there, kind of over the dark shade. And then the same thing on the other eye, of course. I hardly ever do both my eyes on camera, so it feels really strange to be doing that, but kind of nice. Like, you can actually see, like, yes, I can match the eyeshadow on both the eyes. It's not just some illusion or something. And I'm just gonna go back in with the mid-tone shade again over here. I'm gonna wipe off the brush and take the cream shade, and again, just take it on the edges. And just really blend this out. Going in with the Shine On Shimmer Shadow Enhancer. And I always do one eye at a time because it does dry down relatively quickly, which is what I really like about it. So I'm picking up Iron Gate, and I'm just gonna tap that on top of it. And I'm gonna tap it pretty much almost all the way across. And then I'm gonna take Exothermic, just a little bit like this, and I'm gonna just tap it on top. So it's just gonna add a lot of different dimension on top of an already dimensional kind of shade. I mean, that is super fun. And then of course, I'm gonna do the inner corner highlight with Spectrum, but first I'm gonna finish off my under eyes before I do that. So same thing on this eye. And the primer actually sold out, so I'm really happy to see that people are enjoying it. But Clionadh was already able to get it restocked, so it is available now. I would use a brush, but I'm trying to cover a large area, so I just want to kind of swipe it on. I'm not really trying to be too particular with it. And then Exothermic. I feel like the Exothermic layering over it really just creates like such a fun, it kind of neutralizes the green a little bit, like the green is not greening so much. I'm gonna finish off the look with the darkest brown shade, just connecting underneath my lower lash line, and I only always bring that about like a third way underneath my lower lash line, because otherwise with wear throughout the day, it ends up just like giving me raccoon eyes if I bring the shadow too far down. And I'm not trying to be a raccoon, even though they're very cute. Picked up Spectrum, and I'm gonna pop that on the inner corner. And I did miss the brush just a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit of a highlight. I think it matches the look really nicely. Do I want to put lashes on? I'm feeling kind of lazy to put lashes on. I'm gonna put on the Velour main character lashes. I don't think I really love these. The glue's not very strong. These are definitely not ones that will last you more than one wear. And I did put mascara on. I have the One Size Fantasize. This is like a little sample mini size, and I do really like it. But I don't think it really necessarily adds like a lot of volume, and I kind of want a little bit of volume. So I'm gonna pop the longest piece on the outer corner. And I'm probably just gonna do one more piece, and it's gonna be the shortest piece, just to kind of help transition that, and that's kind of it. Just the two little pieces, but I can just tell that the glue's not very strong. So at least these are easy to take off, but I mean, definitely not something you're gonna get even multiple uses out of, or I don't even think you can with most of these kinds of lashes anyway. But it is a very, very gentle glue. Very gentle, so probably like one day's worth of wear, and I feel like it does stick a little bit easier when you have product on your lashes. So here's the finished eye look. Before I forget, I'm going to mention what else is on my face before I get into the rest of the products. So I'm wearing the Givenchy Prisme Libre Skincare and Glow Foundation in the shade W10. And then I did set it with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder in Fair Warm. I am really liking this setting powder. Is it like the most longevity? Probably not, but I do like the way it looks. For concealer, I'm wearing Lancome, and then for the brows, I recently got this new Benefit Mighty Fine Brow Pen. I do have their previous kind of version of this essentially, and I've been using that one since they launched it, and I love it so much. So I really was curious to try this one out. It's got really tiny, really thin prongs. I wish they were angled though. I think that would have made it way more user-friendly like their previous one, but I am really liking it. I got the shade 3.5 in neutral medium brown, and I honestly wish I got like a little bit of a lighter shade. And then I also have the NYX the brow glue in a dark brown over that. This is not for sure the most kind of stick down your brows by any means, but I do like that it has a little bit of a tint to it. So those are all the rest of the products. So let's get into the rest of the face. So I'm going to be using this cotton contour from Missha, and my favorite shade is Salted Hot Choco. So I'm going to use the Sephora brush. I don't know if this is so old. I think this brush, I've had this brush for more than like 10 years, and I'm just going to put that kind of on the side of my face. And this is definitely way buildable. But I do like the shade out of almost all of them. I think there's one shade I don't have. And this one, when I first used it, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I like. I do prefer to use creams, but sometimes I just want to opt for a powder, especially since I already set my face. For the blush, I'm going to use the Kaleidos blush. This is, I don't know what shade this is. It's kind of orangey, so I thought it would go with the look. And the brush I'm going to use with this is from Refer. It is the AA01, and it is the collaboration brush with Alex and LA. I love this brush. It's really nice, smaller, more kind of specific placement type of brush. And I'm just going to wipe off a little bit on my hand just to make sure I am able to kind of build this up. And just go in very slowly. This is the only blush color that I decided to keep from all the shades of the Kaleidos blushes. It's just, this one's the only one that I really feel like I'm going to use. I felt like none of the other shades were really shades I was going to gravitate towards using. As for the highlighter, I'm going to use the Moira Dreamlight highlighter in Dreamlight, and this is so beautiful. And I'm just going to use a random brush. I believe this is an eyeshadow blending brush. It's from Glossgods, and it's just a nice little highlighting type of brush. So I'm just really going to kind of melt that into the cheek on top of the blush. It's a really beautiful formula. It's just like a little bit of a glow. So onto the lips, I'm going to be using the Stone Lip Pencil from MAC Cosmetics. And I just saw this is made in the Czech Republic. Shout out to Czech Republic for, they actually make a lot of pencils there. I think this is not the first time I noticed that a lip pencil is made in Czech Republic. So apparently we got whatever we're doing over there with the lip pencils. And I'm going to try to kind of fade it in a little bit. And I need to not talk when I do this. And for the lipstick, I'm actually going to be using a Revlon lipstick. I know. And this is the shade 103 Caramel Glace. And this is a pearl. It's so beautiful. It's a little bit sheer. It's more of like a sheen. It's so pretty though. I love this. I mean, look at that. It's so beautiful. It's just got a little bit of pearl to it. And I think it just looks, it makes the lips, like something about lipsticks that have a little bit of pearl, not even just fully metallic, but when they have the perfect amount of pearl in them, I feel like they look so flattering on the lips. So here's the finished look with the 2025 version of the Urban Decay Naked Palette. I really like how this look came out, and I actually am tempted to keep this palette together for a little bit longer. I feel like it's a really nice, spicy, neutral palette. Let me know in the comments below which palette you would like to see me redo for 2025 next. Also, what do you think of this format for this type of video versus what I used to do with the previous video? I've done about 3 other palettes, but I didn't actually do a look with them. And if you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out with me. I will leave up some of my other BYOP videos up on the screen for you. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.